Welcome to Activated.
Episode 3.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling a bit flat, to be honest.
Same.
That's why we thought today we'd just keep it honest and raw, and we'll just speak about how we actually feel today, because both of us just feel a bit tired and a bit unmotivated, I suppose, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Which is completely normal. I think a lot of people would try and pretend and show up as something that they're not, or show up as the people that have all the answers all the time, but actually it's real fucking life.
Yeah.
You're going to sometimes be motivated, just going to sometimes be not. Sometimes you're going to be on your food, on your workouts, on your business, on your work, on your relationship, on your friendships, on everything. Motivated, organised, a lot. Sometimes you're just going to think, I don't want to get out of fucking bed today. And that's okay.
And it's okay. And I think you listen to your body, because your body normally knows the answers. Human beings, aren't we? Not robots.
Yeah, we're humans, and your life is not linear. Nothing in life's linear. Your growth, your physical journey, your healing journey, mental journey, career, business, relationship, nothing. Nothing in life, your growth is never going to be linear up like this. It's going to be up, down, stagnant, down again, shoot back up, down. It's going to be a fucking roller coaster ride, and that's okay. It's very glamorized. For you always must be creative, you always must be inspired, you must always be in structure, you must always this, always that. But sometimes you are just going to have days where you don't feel like doing it. It's not about how many times you fall down in life, it's actually getting out the shit quicker, isn't it? 100%. Even if you're someone who has the same amount of downs, don't focus on that. Focus on, about getting yourself out of it quicker, being able to pick yourself back up. Like for me this morning, I literally didn't want to go to the gym. I really couldn't be bothered to get out of bed. I really just felt flat today. And I think I had this pressure. Went to the gym and I thought that'll make me feel better. I got into the gym and I'm feeling a lot weaker than what I usually am, because I'm about to start my period. I'm not as strong as what I was last week or the week before, and that is a legit thing for us. Is our strength and our hormones fluctuate through the month. So today I've gone to the gym, and then that's really pissed me off even more, because I'm thinking I'm not progressing, I'm getting left behind, I'm not having growth. It's all these internal thoughts.
Didn't want to go.
This imposter syndrome and all these things flying through your head of that negativity. And then you feel like you're in a spiral, and I honestly, some of it I just thought, I'm just going to fucking leave, because I almost was like annoyed at myself, because I can't lift what I can usually, or not able to do the things I am usually. But actually, I just had that little internal thing in my mind being like, do you know what? Forgive yourself, firstly. Forgive yourself for talking to yourself like a piece of shit, first off. Second of all, forgive yourself that you're not as, motivated, or you don't feel as strong today. That's okay. Just do what you can. So I just did what I could today. And I actually walked out going, I'm proud of myself for doing that, because that is something. Yeah,
you've gone. And the win was the fact that you went into the gym, and the fact that you actually got up and thought, you know what, and you had the right attitude, because when we walked the kids to school this morning, you had your headphones on, so I thought she's going to the gym.
Yeah, whereas I've had this constant battle, especially because I struggle a lot with my periods. So I've had this battle of, I feel like I can't go to the gym, because it's like, well, I'm not having growth on that week, so what's the point of even showing up? When actually, consistency isn't about intensity. Would you agree?
100%. Consistency is about just doing something. It doesn't have to be you're working at 100% capacity every single time. It could just be that you're turning up to the gym and doing half of your workout. And I'll be honest with you, there is no such thing as a bad workout.
No.
There's no such thing as a bad workout. The fact you've gone and done something is 100 times better than sitting on a sofa and doing nothing.
And then torturing yourself and punishing yourself because you haven't done anything. Mm-hmm. Even if you just got out and be like, do you know what? I'm just going to have a walk. And then you might think, oh, do you know what? Okay, I will go to the gym, and then I'll just do like a rep of each movement. And then you might go, oh, I'll do 2 reps. Because it's like them endorphins, isn't it? It's not always about pushing through in the sense of, I have to push through this pain, or push through this punishment, or push through how I'm feeling and bury that away and just get it done. Because I think there's a lot of hustle culture. Real life is, sometimes you have to pull back so that you can go forward. It's like a slingshot. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to know in life when to pull back for you. So whether that means, you know what, today I'm only going to do half my workout, or today
Late rest
today, and promise myself that I'll get up and try again tomorrow. I think that is as equally as important as, oh, I got all my workouts done this week.
Yeah,
but now I feel like now I'm going to go and fucking eat my body weight because I'm punishing. I feel pissed off because I'm internally. Do you know what I mean? It's like combining the two together, because you can't, in my opinion, you can't have physical health without your mental health. But you can't also have your mental health without your physical health.
We're all connected. Everything's connected. The neurological system matches it all together.
What we want to get across today is do something for you. Like, trust your instinct, trust your voice. And that's why your internal and your mental work alongside the physical side. Because, you know, like, we've been chatting to people, haven't we, recently, where it's like some people might say, oh, so many things have come up for me that actually I don't think exercise, I don't think this is the right time for me. I don't think exercise is actually what I need. I've just unlocked this whole thing in my mind. But actually, it's about putting them both together. Like I said earlier, you can't have one without the other, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think
doing stuff for yourself as well is really important.
Yeah, whether you're on a healing journey, whether you're on a physical journey, whether you're on a fitness journey, whether you're on a training journey, whatever you fucking want to call it, it all comes back down to your perception of you, how you view yourself, and also how you trust your inner voice, how you trust yourself. Like, for me and Luke today, is trusting ourselves enough. I'm going to do what I can do today, and that's enough. Rather than either punishing ourselves and going, do you know what, fuck that, I ain't going to the gym because I'm not going to be as strong, so fuck it, I ain't going, and having a strop, which is something I would do in the past.
Yeah, and also I think this is where it comes in. Everyone listening to this will understand this. If we put it into a more of a work and life aspect. If you don't feel like being a parent, you still have to feed your children and bath them and get them up. So everyone understands that who's a parent. There's going to be times you can't bother to go to work, but you need to pay your bills, so you still go to work anyway. It's using the same mindset that you would use for work, businesses, etc., and parenting and life as you would in your own life, in your own journey, because really you should be the number one most top priority. You should be above work, above family, above your own kids. You are the main character in your own life. So it's about showing up for yourself first. So really, to remove overwhelm, get rid of the lack of motivation, look at your week, go, okay, when can I realistically do a 25-minute workout like you did to lose that 3 stone? It wasn't hour-long workouts like most people say you have to do. You can be very short.
It's literally 20 minutes.
They're just more intensive. They're shorter, that's all. If you haven't got 25 minutes in your week, then there's a problem there. You're scrolling too much, probably. It could be even while dinner's cooking, because it doesn't have to be structured. You don't have to always have workout clothes on and look the best part. It doesn't matter. So, have you got 25 minutes? Perfect. Okay. Block it into the diary. Don't just say, I'm going to work out tomorrow. Actually, set a time. Get it done. Have a structure of some sort of plan which you know you're getting done, so you're not just walking in the gym or doing a plan, looking at a set of dumbbells going, what do I do with these? You're actually going in with a plan. That takes away so much overwhelm because you've got something to follow. You're not just going, I don't know what to do next. You've got something to stick towards.
Yeah, it's having structure, isn't it?
And then you could do the same thing with your food. It's like, I'm going food shopping tomorrow and I don't know what I'm getting. It's just like, okay, well, let's go to the shop with a list. Buy what you need to get. That's going to help you along.
How many times have you gone food shopping without a list, you're hungry, and then you end up buying everything, and then when it comes to the next week, you actually throw a load of stuff away because you haven't used it.
Well, we've been there, haven't we? Let's be honest.
Yeah, we've done that loads of times.
I'm going to be completely honest with everyone right now. The reason why me and Amy make really good coaches is because we've done it all wrong in our own life. I was telling that to a client today. The stuff I wish I knew when I first started to do this job.
We don't even now, we don't have our shit all figured out. We're still learning.
And that's what's exciting though.
Yeah, it is. And I think in life, you're like with healing, obviously for me, I'm very much mindset healing, giving back to you and trusting that voice. So then you can excel in every aspect of your life and your being. We'll heal from past things. But you're not fully healed from anything in life because some things are yet to happen to you that you will have to heal from. You'll never be done. And it's the same with how you learn. Like me and Luke, we have been on such a journey in our own lives, in each other's lives, in our mental being, in our physical being, everything. But we ain't done yet. We've still got lots more to learn to then share. But it's about...
New levels, new devils.
New levels, new devils. That's it. So I think it's really important to sit here and say, like, we ain't perfect. We're sat here today, we're both feeling a bit like, ugh. And, you know, new level, new devil. We're building something from scratch again.
I think what's important is trying to understand what it is that has caused you to feel that way.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the secret to it, is why do you feel that way? And there is going to be times where I don't know. And I remember we've had conversation like, why are you feeling sad? And you're like, I don't know. But now now you know a lot of the reasons and the traumas you've been through.
Yeah, everything comes back to
why
one
that
thing.
is. I know why I feel low today, due to the fact that I'm on low calories. Don't feel sorry for me.
I'm a hungry man.
Yeah, and I'm obviously running on a bit of empty. But don't feel sorry for me. This is fully my choice. I'm very grateful, and I've got a lot of gratitude that I'm able to do this and to be able to put my body through these things and to push myself.
Learning new things.
And learning new things about my own body, and it's going to make me more skilled to train other people for different diets if they want to go this extreme. In the last few weeks, obviously Activated Coaching started up. We've started a new business on top of what we're already doing, so it's like another thing.
We love to add to our plates.
And things don't change. We've still got 2 kids, 2 dogs, a marriage, and we've still got other things going on, but we've now got staff, so it's kind of like putting yourself out your own comfort zone, and that's where you grow.
100%, it's where you grow. And if you think you can grow without having days like this, you're mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Because these days where and like, you might be listening to this right now and thinking, oh my God, same. I literally feel like you guys, like, pull up a third chair, 'cause same. So you might be feeling like us, and you might be going, oh, that was me last week. If you think right now how this emotion, this feeling of like the low days, if you think for a minute they are not as equally as important within your growth stage, you have got it twisted. Because growth isn't about always being up here, is it? No. Growth's not always about having these fucking sick days. You know where growth and discipline and where the most of your shoot forward moments come through is doing the mundane, consistent, small fucking tasks that are boring and you don't want to do every day. Yeah. That's what it's about. It's about showing up for you, giving to you, and also, like we said earlier, knowing when to pull back.
Yeah, a client said this to me yesterday, actually, is that their low days that they used to have were really dark low days. And now their low days are like medium days, which, you know, I think anyone
which
who's
is
been
a massive win.
Yeah, I think anyone who's ever been through any sort of trauma in their own life or had problems, which more than likely is going to be every single person listening to this.
Everybody's had something in life.
Definitely, and I think it's how you pick yourself up, because you want to get out of the state, you know, as quick as possible, really, depending how low you are. Obviously, it's normal to feel tired and a bit flat, but it's kind of finding the trigger which has sent you there in the first place. So I know my trigger today is the fact that I'm on low food. So
just butt in at something really funny. Luke was emptying the cupboard last night, and he said, I overheard him, and there was these oat biscuits. They'd been in there a little while. I think there was like 4 left or something. Yeah. And he said, right, let's get rid of these. These oat biscuits have been talking to me the last few days.
You're always going to be anxious about certain things, and I was speaking to a client again the other day about this, was that they're feeling quite a lot of anxiety at the minute. And when you do new things and you push yourself out of your comfort zone, you should be a bit anxious. It should be a bit scary, because that's where you're going to grow. And that's where the most growth is going to happen, when you're out of your comfort zone.
So I was talking to one of my girls this week about anxiety, because she's suffering a lot at the minute. Anxiety is completely natural, completely normal. We have to have anxiety, because anxiety at the end of the day is what keeps us safe. Don't fear anxiety. Obviously, some of us have different levels. Like, if you suffer with anxiety, your level's going to be a lot higher. Have you ever experienced like really severe anxiety?
Probably not to the levels that some people have.
So that's what I was going to say, is like, you haven't, but you've seen how anxiety can affect somebody, because that was something when we were together. I remember at one point you would get really confused because my anxiety attack could present in a way that you think, like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, your anxiety would make me anxious.
Oh yeah, well it breeds, doesn't it? It's like anything's contagious energy wise. But in terms of the anxiety, you know, for some people, they're like, oh, it's just a passing thought, or, oh, I should feel a bit anxious. Okay, that's fine. I'll move on to the next thing. For other people, it can literally be debilitating, where you spiral and you lose your mind into a point of where you're in such an overwhelm that you then avoid everything in your life. Like even brushing your teeth or having a shower is too much to do, because it's just that there's too much going on in your brain. So just a simple task that you do every day becomes hard. So, it's about understanding, whilst yes, anxiety, I think a lot of us, if you've ever dealt with it, you kind of want to avoid it at all costs because you know how debilitating it can be. But actually, it's understanding, you know what? Anxiety, this anxious thought is just trying to keep me safe, but I need to just think about it rationally, because once the anxiety passes, you go, oh yeah, that wasn't actually like, a big tiger wasn't coming to eat me actually. But it feels like that, like, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I'm fully qualified to work with anxiety and depression within health and fitness, and one of the big things that was a take home from the teachings was anxiety. What it is worrying about something that may or may not happen in the future. So you're almost like living in the future. And what really I think a lot of people talk about is living in the now is the best way to reduce anxiety. So exercise is the best way to reduce anxiety, because if you're doing something that's quite challenging, like exercise, you can't think about what might happen down the line. If you're doing like a bicep curl and it's heavy, you're thinking, am I doing it in good form? This is hard. You're not thinking about what might happen down a pub on Friday night. You're thinking about, well, this is quite hard right now.
It's fucking heavy.
It's quite heavy for me. And it's like getting out of nature, because if you're in nature, there's a lot of distractions, the birds, the trees moving, the wind, the sun, the rain, whatever it is. You're having to be present in the now. You might trip over a tree or a rock or something, or a dog walking past your dog walker. So you're thinking, I've got to live in the now. I can't really think about what might happen down, that may or may not happen in the future. I've got to live in the now. And if you live in the now, you tend to worry less about what might happen in the future.
Yeah, and that is not an overnight fix, and that is something you build on, isn't it? And that's something we really incorporate into our teachings, because for me, one of the tools I still use now is if you're in that heightened anxiety state, and you know what it does, it spirals you and it takes you to a whole nother dimension. But actually, if you try and, you might have heard this before, like ground yourself, touch something, smell something, breathe, look at something, focus on something. It's about bringing yourself back to now, because like Luke said, it's about you worrying about what hasn't happened yet, which may not even happen. Like some of the scenarios I'd come in my head and Luke would be like, what the hell, how have you got there?
Opened up to Amy only recently and said to her that when she was going through a lot of this anxiety, I didn't know a lot about it at the time, admittedly. I used to try and make Amy's world as small as possible, in the fact that I used to try anything that's negative that would happen, I wouldn't tell her about it. So I think, well, let's just keep Amy's world really positive and all nice, la-di-da, because then that's not going to add more anxiety into the mix. So I used to just not tell her a lot of stuff.
Yeah, which I didn't actually know until recently, and that was probably from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, and I preach this because it really did change my life, because I would be that person that can't go to sleep, and I'd be on my phone till like 2 o'clock in the morning just as a distraction, because I didn't want to lay in my own thoughts because of the anxiety would take over and it'd be so dark and I'd have panic attacks in bed. So what I started doing, and again, this wasn't overnight, this did take a long time of trial and error and a long time of just, again, sometimes I would go on my phone, but I would just have to be not punishing myself for it. And tomorrow's a new day where I try this tool again. So just doing your breathing. So any type of breathing, don't have to overcomplicate it. In through your nose, out through your mouth. I mean, some people might disagree, but I think just to keep it simple to begin with, as long as your inhale, when you inhale through your nose and then you exhale, as long as your exhale is longer than your inhale, am I right in saying it puts you in your parasympathetic
Yes. So
state?
when you breathe in, it upregulates you.
Yeah,
so
and breathing out.
That's when you're like,
alert.
alert, and then when you breathe out, you downregulate.
Yeah, so by making sure your exhale, so breathing out, is longer than the inhale, it's going to downregulate you and calm you and bring you back down to this now state.
And also counting your breaths is another way to bring you into the now. So like, let's say you did, to keep it simple, 4 seconds in, and then you did 6 seconds out.
Yeah, and count that.
Yeah, and count it. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, and then breathe out.
Or if you're like me, just count 1, 2, 3, because I get complicated and then start doing like 6,010, and I think, no, how did I get there? So however works for
One
you.
Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that, but also list my gratitudes. And I know for some of you, you might be like, well, what have I got to be grateful for right now? You have a lot to be grateful for, and you just got to get so deep. I'm grateful I had a hot shower today. I'm grateful I had food today. I'm grateful for my heart today. I'm grateful for my lungs to be able to breathe today. I'm grateful that I have a car take me from A to B. If I don't have a car, I'm grateful for the public transport I can get. If you don't have that, I'm grateful for the fact I can walk to these places, that I've got shoes. Like, think, and I know it can be, this is a conversation I had with my girls, is it might sound a bit morbid, but for me, it might be so wrapped up in the anxiety and trauma, in negative thoughts, depression, whatever it may be, that you do feel like everything's against you. But actually, how I flipped that switch was being like, oh my God, how many people out there that didn't eat today, that wanted to eat? I'm laying in my cosy, comfy bed. How many people haven't got a bed? And they would literally wish for a bed. It's really getting in tune with you of what you are grateful for, the everyday things that we take for granted, and doing that. At first, you have to loop round a lot. You have to really get right. I'm really grateful that the electricity comes through and I can have Wi-Fi. Hot shower, it goes in, and I'm really grateful for my electricity bill so that I can have these things. You know what I mean? You get really deep into it.
There's loads of things if you think about it.
Yeah. As the nights go on and the more you master it, and don't forget, there is going to be some nights where you slip off and you go back on your phone and you do your old habits. You might have a panic attack, but that's okay. Just start again and do what you can do. But I promise you, each time you do it, you'll count less, not because you have less to be grateful, but because you fall asleep quicker.
Yeah.
And that literally changed my whole life.
Goals are really important to keep driving you forward and keep growing. But what is also massively important is appreciating where you are right now. 2 versions of you. So imagine the 7-year-old you who thought anything was absolutely possible and had all these dreams and very small limiting beliefs. And then the 90-year-old version of you. Are you making both versions proud? I heard that on a podcast the other day and I thought, that's quality, that is.
And also, just to add to that about anxiety, is the fact that your brain, it's like scientifically a thing. I can't remember where the bits of the brains are, but because of the state of your brain when it's in anxiety and in like gratitude, it can't do the both together.
Yeah.
So if you are somebody who does, that's why the gratitude really helped me, because if you're having anxiety, you cannot physically do gratitude at the same time. So if you spin it, because you think you're going in this different realm, if you spin it, if I'm listing my gratitudes, I can't physically be in anxiety at the same time.
Same as depression. You can't feel sad and speak positive at the same time.
No. So even if you're feeling...
thinking negative thoughts, but speaking out loud something positive, you're not going to be able to think negative and speak positive at the same time.
It doesn't work.
So you'll start to then sound more positive because you better hear your voice.
The neuro pathways.
Yeah.
Because if you're thinking negatively, and if you're someone who speaks negatively to yourself, that neuro pathway is very strong because you practice it every day without realising. Whereas if we were to tell you, go and look in the mirror and say, I love you, to you myself, some of you might be like, I don't want to do that, it makes you feel gross. Or like, do you know what, look in the mirror and go, I look good. You'd be like, no, I can't, I don't believe it, the yuck. It's because that neuro pathway is non-existent because you don't do it. Yeah. So if you every day, even if you do feel, this is uncomfortable, I don't like it, remember being uncomfortable is where you have your growth. If you go and stand in the mirror, or even as you're brushing your teeth, you don't even have to give yourself eye contact if that's too much right now. Just in your mind, think, you know what, I'm really grateful for my body. Like for me, I'm really grateful for my body. My stomach might be a little bit like loose skin, but I've birthed 2 healthy babies, which I desperately wanted. I'm grateful for that body. And I just kept doing that because that's something I struggled with. And then like with the anxiety, my self-worth, who I am as a person, every day just thinking of them things. Like even things like I'm grateful for my resilience in life. I'm grateful for who I am. That strengthened that neuro pathway and weakened the negative one. So now actually if I say something negative to myself, I'm like, oh no, that feels uncomfortable because I've strengthened the positive one. It sounds kooky, but it's actual true, science.
And I'm grateful you did that for your body as well, for our kids. So thank you.
No worries.
And I think to wrap up this podcast, based on last week, because last week was quite energetic, there was a lot of back and forth, and we're really discovering Amy's journey. And maybe another reason why this week is a little bit flatter is because you're then bringing up a lot of old wounds, aren't you?
Yeah,
like we spoke about 2 miscarriages. We spoke about a lot of stuff we've been through as a couple that's happened. And
even some of the things that maybe we didn't voice, but we know that was part of that journey, and it brings those old wounds to the surface, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's also important, because the only way that you're going to be able to heal and grow is if you open up and talk about these things.
Absolutely.
Because they will never go away. And if you can share these things, like when I found out the trauma that I went through as a kid, and I actually discovered it and learned about it quite a lot, I was telling everyone, wasn't I?
Oh, yeah. He went from being quiet, not telling a single soul for 30 years,
to telling everyone.
Told me, and next thing you know, the lid's off, and he's telling everyone. I was like, okay, here we go. This is not a drill, people.
I even stood on a stage in front of 80 women and told them.
Yeah, I activated at the live event, and I wasn't expecting it. I was like...
It's only because a question came up, and Amy was like, Luke, did you want to answer this? And I was just like, how do I voice how to help this person for them to trust me that I actually understand what it's like?
Yeah, 100%.
So I told the backstory, and then just sort of said, this is what I would work on if I was you.
Mm-hmm.
And it got a really good reception. So I think being more open and trusting people is also a good thing.
But that all comes to trusting yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's one of the reasons you didn't speak out, because you didn't trust yourself.
Yeah.
And that's it. So everything, again, comes back to you. And what's that old saying? A problem shared is a problem halved. And it's true. And you'll never be a burden on anyone. You know, once you've got your circle and your people,
Yeah,
if anyone does think you're a burden, or anyone thinks negatively of what you've got to say about your own experiences, they ain't your people. So maybe just don't look at that as a you problem, look at that as a them problem, and then let's go and find a new circle. That's why we're passionate about what we do and our community.
Yes.
Because that's what changes lives, isn't it?
And I think back to sort of 2012, 13 is probably when I looked my best in my life. I was walking around with a six-pack all year round. I was a dream boy in Bournemouth, stripping. I was...
Is that when you also did your competition?
Yeah, I did my
those
competition.
Tiny little blue pants.
Yeah, and I was also the butler in the buff as well. So there's a lot of things going on, but I'll be honest, that probably was the most unhappiest I've ever been.
Yeah, but that's
so
it,
you look like you're looking the best and you're having a great life. But I would be honest, I was probably the lowest. And even on the cruise ship, I had big times of big depression. The lows are really low.
That's it, isn't it? Don't never judge a book by its cover.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's just so important to be open, be real, be yourself. And that's why, again, be comfortable with you, because then it doesn't matter about the outside noise. If you trust in you and you believe in you, that's all you can do in life. You're not responsible for anyone else but yourself. That's why it's so important to be surrounded by like-minded people. So, you know, right now you might feel like you're on your own, but if you go put yourself into the places where the people are who are like-minded like you and have been through or going through what you're going through, that's where you lift up, isn't it?
It's why activated coaching exists.
Exactly.
It's why we've got the community. It's why we're putting lots of videos together in the client portal.
That's why we share what we share with our clients, isn't it?
Yeah, literally, because it's like that they need to know that we are real people.
Exactly. We ain't perfect, because perfect doesn't exist.
Yeah, and Instagram, everyone makes out like they are perfect. And
and it can be a very toxic place. So you have to just remember, like, you're only seeing someone's highlight reel. You ain't seeing the whole fucking picture. And people just want you to see what they want you to see.
That's it. And on that note, anything else to say?
Thank you so much for listening. Please like, rate and subscribe.
And keep being you.
Keep being you.
No one's better at being you than you are.
Goodbye.